today's debate, ladies and gentlemen, is between the Sunbeam Suncity School and Hostel Varanasi and the Krishna Public School from Dunda, Raipur. This is the 25th match. This is a Pool D match. We have a series of league matches before we enter the quarterfinals and the semifinals. So the students who are debating today are not just debating against the school opposing them, but also against the top score on the leaderboard. We, as a system, have 3 judges, 2 judges, 1 from each school, and 1 neutral adjudicator. Today, we are fortunate to have Ms. Meghna Laha joining us as the neutral adjudicator. Meghna is an AVP at Notebook. She finished her MPA from the School of International and Public Affairs at the Columbia University, New York, and then an MS from the University of Rhode Island. She was working with the World Bank, where she was monitoring 42 unsupervised projects across Africa for the World Bank. And then when we started working on Notebook, she felt that this is where her talents were best utilized. We are glad to have Meghna with us today. Also, the 2 teachers who have joined from the 2 schools, thank you so much for joining. I believe all the contestants are here. So let us move on. We are very proud to be powered by Stayfree. Stayfree, as you all know, is a brand that does a phenomenal amount of work for young women who are just entering their puberty. The area of women's hygiene is something that they take very, very seriously, and the kind of work they do is exemplary. Here's a short public service message that they wanted us to share with all of you before we start.
मेरे पीरियड शुरू हो गए।
पहली बार हो रहे हैं मुझे, तो काफी अजीब लग रहा है।
पीरियड्स में मुझे आसान काम भी मुश्किल लगता है, बहुत दर्द होता है।
मैं किसी के पास बैठ भी नहीं सकती और जब मैं उठती हूँ बार बार निशान चेक करती हूँ।
घर में एक ही वॉशरूम है तो पैड चेंज करने में मुझे शर्म आती है।
मुझे पैड को कचरे में छुपाना पड़ता है हर बार।
She may not understand what she's going through. She just needs to know you do. Over 2 million girls will get their first period in lockdown. Your daughter or sister could be one of them. Talk to her. Tell her.
It's normal. It's just a period.
Well, after that heartwarming message, it's time to move on with the debate. The Sunbeam Suncity School and Hostel Varanasi against Krishna Public School, Dunda, Raipur. The topic for the debate today. This house believes space exploration is necessary for global development. I repeat, this house believes space exploration is necessary for global development. As with any other topic, we are open to interpretations. Students are free to interpret the topic as they see and debate accordingly. Let me introduce the teams for today. We have from the Sunbeam Suncity School and Hostel Varanasi, Mr. Girijesh Tripathi as the adjudicator. Tushant would be speaking for the motion, while Ananya speaks against the motion. Okay, right. Ananya and Tushant both are online. I can see them. Thank you so much for joining. From the Krishna Public School, Raipur, we have Sizicharyan ma'am as the adjudicator. Shambhavi would be speaking for the motion, while Kashish speaks against. Kashish, Shambhavi, I can see you guys online. Thank you for joining. Would be good to have all of you on camera as well. This is the order in which we would go. Tushant speaks first, followed by Kashish, followed by Shambhavi, followed by Ananya. Right? We are clear on the order. A quick check, judges, do you have access to the scoring sheets?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Subir.
Sizi ma'am, do you have access?
Yes, sir.
Perfect, ma'am. All right. So we are starting. Let me just pull up my scoring sheet. Yes, I'm sorted. Tushant, we will start with you. Before we start your debate, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your class, your hobbies, whatever you want to tell us.
Jain sir, Tushant Wadhwani from Sunbeam Suncity. I'm a student of class 12. I've opted commerce with mathematics as my subject. And speaking of my hobbies, I like cooking and singing.
Wonderful. So Tushant, the singing chef, if you're ready with your arguments, we will start your time now.
Thank you, sir. Carl Edward Sagan once said, "Somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known." I would like to question my worthy opponents on why are they questioning the thought that space exploration is necessary for global development, because this is the only reason why we are sitting on this mobile phone and attending this debate, because of the satellites that are present in the space. All this started by the end of the World War II. Launching of ballistic missiles paved the way for launch vehicles, which then many countries used as launching rockets. In the 1930s and 40s, Nazis also saw an opportunity of long-range vehicles for using as weapons. Later in the 1957, Soviets grabbed the chance and launched their first artificial satellite called the Sputnik 1. Then the Russians stepped in with Yuri Gagarin and Vostok 1. Then stepped in the Americans with Alan Shepard's Explorer 1. And then the famous lunar missions where Neil Armstrong put their first step on the moon with the 6 Apollo missions. These are some famous chapters in the history of space exploration. Also, space exploration helps in our better understanding of the human body and human related problems associated to aging, sedentary lifestyle, and also traumas. Many space stations are working on protein development, which develop proteins in much purer form than on Earth, which helps in producing medicine and drug development for human health. Also, they carry microbes and microorganisms which on the space, which they study the effect of gravity on heart and mind of humans. Development of telemedicine, disease, physical stress response system are some of the benefits that we have gained from unique space zero gravity ecosystem that are present in the space stations. Also, space activities and undoubtedly increased our economic sphere into the space. Also, there are many private initiatives that have been taken, like the SpaceX, which extend our economic sphere even more to Mars, to Moon, and some big asteroids. But still, some people question or how specifically these space exploration adds up to the economy of a country. Investment in technology and industries is one option. How they invest into the country's economy. This in turns leads to the development of technology and industries in the country, providing employment to millions of people in various industries related to space exploration is one of the ways in how space exploration is adding up to the economy also. Later, we have innovation and technology. There are many spheres related to industries that give us our daily driver tech. For example, if we take the most basic of telecommunication, where the satellites help us, be it our television, radios, or the internet we are using day to day. Also, navigation systems like the GPS or GIS, which are only possible because of the satellites that are present in the space. Satellites also help us in many other ways, like the remote sensing, which is used for mapping, mining industries, weather forecasting, which saves millions of lives every year. Out of the way, we have like many crisis management, energy crisis, which is a major issue in most of the countries, is being solved by the space development technology, like the solar panels. This also benefit life on Earth by making human psychology, plant biology, and many other ways in which space exploration is helping life on Earth. Basically, space exploration drives the motivation of people to develop new tech like heavy launchers, robotic arms. Also, space exploration brings social peace and international unification, because international collaborations in the space age brought together many different cultures from people from different countries which work together in space and also in field of space exploration come together. After the Cold War, the most peaceful times were brought because of space exploration. The US and USSR, which were involved in the space race together along with other 16 countries, different communities came together to launch the ISS, International Space Station. And Roscosmos and NASA were the major players in this game. Still people question what are the future benefits and how it will help us in the long run. Most of the space agencies have made their goals public, and people know about their future goals, that they collectively tend to extend our space to extend our economic sphere to much more, to Mars and to asteroids, even to Moon. Even also in the schools in many countries, there are preschooler programs like future aeronautics programs that helps the preschoolers, the teachers, the students, the scientists from all over the world and motivate them. Past achievements in the past also motivate people to strive further. At the end, I would like to conclude by saying and requesting my fellow opponents that why are they telling me that sky is the limit when there are footprints on the moon? Thank you, sir.
Well done, Tushant. Some wonderful arguments there. Let's see how the judges score you. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. If you could please put in Tushant's scores after his first 5 minutes. Meghna, I have your scores. Thank you so much. I can see your scores coming in, Tushant. Just give us a couple of minutes so that we can tabulate your scores and share them with you. Suzy ma'am, I have your scores. May I take them as final?
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Girijas sir, I have your scores. May I take them as final?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, Tushant, if you can see the screen, these are your scores at the end of your 5 minutes on the screen now. Well done. We are not putting in your averages as yet because we will put in your averages once we get your points for the rebuttal as well. Well, after
Thank you,
Tushant,
sir.
you're welcome. After Tushant, it's Kashish's turn. Kashish, if you're there. Yes, Kashish, we can see you now.
Warm greetings to all. I'm Kashish Ahmed and I wish to speak against what the House believes, that space exploration is not necessary for global development. I'll begin
One
by
second,
asking...
Kashish, just hold on for a second. We
Yeah,
would love
sure.
to know you a little bit better. It also allows
Sure.
us to know that your connectivity is fine. We'll tell you when to start.
Sure. My name is Kashish Ahmed. I'm from Krishna Public School. I'm a class 12 student and I've opted for humanities with maths. And I aspire to be a lawyer. And my hobbies include singing, book reading, and basically geeky stuff.
All right, Kashish, the geek to be lawyer. If you're ready, we will start your time now.
Warm greetings to all. I wish to speak against what the House believes, that space exploration does not anyway consider global development. I'd like to begin by asking a simple question. Which color do you see? White, right? You know what? I see black. You know why? Perspective. So while the white part indicates the benefits of space exploration like surveillance, navigation, communication, etc. that my worthy opponents will be mentioning, I'm here to shed light on the ugly part of it. And I'll primarily do that with 3 points: snowfalls, dinosaurs, and the irony of it all. But before we dive into all of that, how did we end up discussing the pros and cons of something as magnificent as space exploration in the first place? It all started in 1957 during the Cold War era when the USSR decided to launch the first space satellite and started the space race, which of course the USA ended by sending the first man on the moon. The future that it unfolded, let's just call it the domino effect. Which brings us to point number 1, snowfalls. The increase in the number of which actually indicate climate change. We have been poor stewards of our own planet. We have islands of trash in our oceans and alarming climate changes, and we wish to blissfully ignore all of that in order to explore space. Then comes point number 2, dinosaurs. Remember when we read that the dinos got wiped out of the planet because, well, they were attacked by something that is believed to be a meteoroid. Our space explorers wish to protect us against that danger, which is neither imminent nor proven yet. The fear of the unknown is taking us to crazy places that don't even exist. And what's more, they want us to find another planet so that we can escape the fate of the dinosaurs. Let's give them a reality check, shall we? First off, we don't even live long enough to be able to go or travel anywhere that's more interesting than our own little planet. What about air, water, and atmosphere? And the space tech? I mean, it would take gazillions of dollars to develop and years of research. And for what? It will probably save like a 50 or 100 humans. And just a quick FYI, the satellites and spacecrafts that are launched into the space probably do more damage using the fossil fuels that they promise on eradicating in the future. My third point is the irony of it all. Because we live in a nation that is ready to spend 13,947 crores on space development and exploration, while 73 million of its population still lives in poverty, and 55% of it does not even have access to basic amenities like decent sanitation, healthcare, education, and toiletry facilities. What is the point of being among the 4 nations of the world with ASAT technologies and send yans to Chandra or Mangal in the first place? Someone has very rightly said, man has gone out to explore other worlds and civilizations without having explored the deep labyrinths and dark chambers that lie within. 80% of our oceans remain untapped, and we probably know more about Mars's surface than we do about our own seabeds. As far as curiosity and life on another planet is concerned, I think all of us have watched enough Avengers to know that that could be dangerous. I mean, we lost Iron Man in the last one. And to make it more interesting, NASA just confirmed that there are around 500,000 items of debris that revolve our Earth with a speed of over 7,500 miles per hour. I mean, that just begins to explore it, thanks to space exploration, I guess. I'd like to conclude this by saying that the need of the hour is to find the gray in between. Because, well, we were born in the middle of history, too early to be able to explore our Earth and too late to be able to explore the space. Thank you very much. Over to the moderator.
Thank you, Kashish. Very, very well done. Some fantastic arguments there. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. Judges, please note Kashish is the 4th, that is the last column on your right. Girijesh sir, if you could please put in the scores in the 4th column. Thank you so much, sir. I can see Sizimam scores coming in as well. Meghna, I have your scores. Can I take them as final?
Yes, please. That's fine.
Thank you, Meghna. Kashish, just give us a couple of minutes while we tabulate those scores and get them across to you. Ma'am, Sizimam, may I take that score as final, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Girijesh sir, may I take that score as final, please?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kashish, you know, the debating has been good and the judging has been spectacular. when you get scores like these. All three judges have given you the same score of 91. Very well done. Shambhavi, you're up next. Kashish has done a good job of arguing against the motions, so you have some defending of the motion to do. Before we start, we would love to know you a little bit better.
I'm Shambhavi Sharma and I'm from Krishna Public School. I currently study in 11th standard and I've opted for humanities basically. And I still don't know what I wanted to do in future. And I love to print my views on canvas. I've done diploma in music and that's pretty much about me.
Wonderful. Shambhavi, if you're ready with your arguments, we will start your time now.
Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Exploration is wired into our brains. The sight of the horizon triggers the thought to know what's beyond. So with this, I'm Shambhavi Sharma and I'm speaking for the motion that space exploration is necessary for the global development. Before I start talking about all the antimatter rockets or physics or going into stars or traveling interstellar, I think it's important if we ask ourselves the question that why space exploration? We have so many problems here on Earth, ranging from poverty to hunger to war. Then why should we have to spend both of our B's, that are brains and banks, into space exploration when we could be spending all of this right here solving those problems? Actually, I could answer this technologically too, but I would prefer logically first, and the answer is that it's in our DNA. Yes, we are the descendants of people and we have inherited this curiosity from them. Many choose to go to moon in this decade and do other stuff not because they're easy, but because they are not. Because the challenge is the one that we are willing to accept, the one we are unwilling to postpone, and the one which we intend to win. So, you know, we are all very special because we all have this one magical thing with us. Countries who have it have higher GDP, and people who have it have more friends on Facebook. Guess what? The internet. We all are connected with the world through physical cables that run underneath the ocean, and these cables are somewhat waterproof, but I don't know whether this is shark-proof or not. So let's not talk about the label-rich cities, and considering that you live in some remote locations where there is no one willing to connect your little home to the rest of the world, and hence prove that half of the world still not on internet. Now, this is where space exploration comes in. Space now beaming all those information from space into the satellites are a way better option than the ground-based technologies, because once we are under this umbrella, once we launch this satellite constellation, then we are under this umbrella and we all have the access to internet. Let's talk about something else. Space exploration has to do something with the climate change. You wonder how? This crazy idea that little humans could create enough dirty technology to change the entire climate of the planet is ridiculous, right? Wrong. If space exploration wouldn't have been there, then the fields like astronomy and astrology wouldn't have been existing. We wouldn't be knowing that there's the hole in ozone and that the gravity is just not about the apple that fell on Newton's head, but has to do something with a black hole too. Because of the space exploration, we get to know that there are problems and the solution lies beyond the space. Now, many think that space exploration is not worth it. Then let me enlighten you, my dear, that there was this time, 2013, where the issue of the spin-off inspiring new social plans was established. But when it was built for NASA, but the company that built it took the experience of working with the superheated material and turned it into 110 megawatt solar plant, which powers 75,000 homes in Nevada. Else this, it helps in food security, agriculture, disaster risk reduction, humanitarian crisis prevention, connecting the unconnected, and whatnot. Giving you the statistics that almost 188 people across the globe are unemployed. And if we improve the space exploration and research sector, then the job opportunity increases by almost 33% for those who are still unemployed, which is a huge number itself. And after all of it, what we get to hear is space exploration is the worst. Yes, it's the worst if you hate accurate scientific data about how our planet is changing. It's the worst if you would like to stifle technology development for those who still live in digital darkness. And it's the worst if you would prefer to go gracefully like the dinosaurs. Many people question that why government agencies and private companies spend billions of dollars each year on space exploration and research. Now, here's the reason why. Space exploration and research is an essential tool and basically our only tool to solve some certain short-term and long-term issues. It's the only way, only efficient way that we could bring the entire nation into a digital age, and moreover, it's the best strategy for ensuring the survival of the human species. So guess what? Space exploration is not the worst. In fact, it's helping to solve some of the greatest challenges that the humans have ever faced. So the next time you step out of your house and look up to the night sky, you realize that the money you have spent is not the waste, and it's really one of the greatest investments we could ever make in the 7 billion of us living down here in this planet Earth. Many years ago, the British explorer George Mallory who was to die on the Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He answered, because it's there. Well, the space is there, and the stars and the planets and the hopes for new knowledge and technology are still there. So we are going to attain it, we are going to achieve it, and we are going to climb it. And at last, space exploration is necessary for the global development. Because now it's time to leave something for the coming generation and make them believe that we are just not about binge watching Netflix, but we have found a completely magical world, which is beyond the world, and that is worth experimenting and exploring. So instead of looking at the entire staircase, I guess a one step could make a difference. So let's be that change. Thank you.
Well done, Shambhavi. Just as the speaker before you was almost convincing the audience on one side, I think you've managed to pull audience back to the other and confuse them suitably.
Thank
well,
you,
judges,
sir.
let's see how you score, Shambhavi. Just remember, you went a little over time, so you might just get a little penalized for that. But
Okay,
let's see how
sir.
the judges score you.
Sure, sir.
Meghna, I have your scores. May I take them as final?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Meghna. I can see the scores coming in. Just be a minute before we can tabulate the scores and show you how you did. Girija sir, I have your scores. May I take them as final?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Sizzy ma'am, I have your scores as well. May I take them as final? Well, I guess we'll go with that. Shambhavi, if you can see the screen, these are your scores after your 5 minutes of initial debates on the screen now. Very well done. Ananya, you are up next. You've heard 3 speakers before you. You know the quality of the debate so far, and I'm sure you're going to do a splendid job. I love your uniform, by the way. Before we start,
Thank you.
let's get to know you a little bit better.
So, Ananya Mishra, and I study in class 11, and I have taken humanities with sociology. And my hobbies include reading books and knowing about current affairs. This is me in a nutshell.
Ananya, there seems to be a lag on your video. Are you comfortable with the connectivity you have? We can wait for a minute if you want to, change to a different network. Just check your Wi-Fi once.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Ananya, we have you back. The video is still a little slow, but we can hear you loud and clear, which is the important part, right? In case there's a drop off, we'll stop the time. We'll wait for you to join back. Okay, so don't worry about it. Right? If you're ready with your arguments, Ananya, We will start your time for the debate now.
A very good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen present over here. The topic for today is space exploration is necessary for global development, and I firmly oppose the given motion. I would like to take the example of the present context of the pandemic with how it changed our vision from talking about living in a highly modernized, super artificial society to pondering over the questions of basic healthcare facilities to talking about unbraced educational system and talking about the deeply rooted inequality present in our society. To prove my points, I have a statistics from United Nations Development Report, which states that still today, 736 million people are earning less than $2 a day. 25,000 people die of hunger each day. And 759 million people have no right to access education, and the list goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, I consider it more as an irony that we are spending millions of dollars over exploring the space, stars, moons, and galaxies, while our own people on the planet Earth are suffering from the basic humanitarian crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to put forward my points by talking about that how did space exploration mission started. Taking the example of the USSR and USA Cold War, that how a space race was created. From the very past only, space exploration programs was more used as a gimmick to bolster power and influence in the society. It was a flamboyant, based on the principles of the nationalism and using their dominance over the underdeveloped countries. Talking about and taking the example of the USA and United Nations of America, where it spends approximately $22.7 billion on its space mission, while at the present time it has the unemployment rate of 14.7%. Can you really imagine that how taxpayers' money is directly being wasted by these poor space exploration missions while we are not getting enough return in back? My question to my worthy opponent is that what a common man is earning in back. Also talking about these space exploration missions, that they are not always very successful. I have a report by Economical Times which states that since 2010, 74 missions of the NASA have been terribly failed, wasting $650 billion of money into vain. Talking about the another report by International Space Organization, which states that since past 20 years, 40% of the lunar eclipse missions have been terribly failed. Ladies and gentlemen, another point that how space exploration program at the present time is virtually being overtaken by the chronic capitalists, making it difficult for a common man to fulfill his or her desire over space exploration. These cronies have a very little stake in the public well-being, while their mission and their vision of the space exploration is comparatively high. Their mission and their programs are specially built for fulfilling the desires of the rich. It is simply a war, or rather, I would like to say it is the brawl between a copyist rich and a white-collar worker. Ladies and gentlemen, these privatized companies are selling their programs in the name of the sustainability and environmental friendly nature. But in actually, what is the real thing is that they are quoting oil and gas companies and creating high amount of a pollution rate. A report by Slate.com, which is an organization that keeps the record of the space and rocket launches, it stated that that on average a rocket it exhibits 400 metric tons of the kerosene oil and carbon dioxide, which emits a large amount of the pollution and depletes the ozone layer apart, causing the problems of global warming, greenhouse effect, and ozone layer depletion. Talking about the another thing of the NASA mission is that how hazardous these missions have become nowadays. Till the time, approximately 15 astronauts, 4 cosmonauts, and 3 crew members have died in these accidents. Also, an issue of the space debris is eventually very higher in the present times. They have a higher amount of chances to collide with the Earth's surface and creating trajectory in our society. The last point which I would like to put forward in my motion is that how unexplored is our Earth is. Approximately 75% of the land on the Earth is still unexplored. We are spending millions and trillions of the dollars on a space exploration project while living on our Earth is not suitable for now. Our utmost priority should be spending more amount of the money to make it suitable for living. Ladies and gentlemen, space exploration for me is a more a desire. And when we put our desire at a pedestal, we are surely ignoring a better substantial of the living for all the members of our society. What can be done for the profit of the whole kind is that here's the topic talking about the global development. If I talk about the development which can benefit all the members of the society, should be extending our helping hands towards the marginalized community, extending our helping hands to the poor and the exploited countries which are suffering each day, battling hard to survive. Thank you so much, and over to the moderator.
Well done, Ananya. Some wonderful debating there. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. Meghna, I have your score. Can I take that as final?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see the other scores coming in. So Ananya, you'll have to give us just a couple of minutes before we can get you your scores. Sizzy ma'am, do you have access to the sheet? Because I can't see you online on the sheet. Yeah, I can see you now. Sorry, my bad. Dejesh sir, I have your scores. Can I take them as final?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, I have your scores as well. Can I take them as final? Shazim ma'am, the score that you have on the sheet, can I take that as final? Or if you need some assistance with the sheet, please let me know.
Done, sir. Done.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Right. So Ananya, if you can see the screen, these are your scores after your first 5 minutes of debating up on the screen now. Well done. Remember, all of these scores are given by the judges out of 95 because you still have to fight for those 5 points in your rebuttal. One word of advice though, remember you're not rebutting the opposition school, you're rebutting the opposition bench, which means Tushant and Shambhavi, you are rebutting points put forth by Kashish and Ananya, right? And vice versa. Let me stop my share. We will start with Tushant. Tushant, if you are ready with your rebuttal, we will start. Tushant, you there? Yeah, I can see you now. Please unmute yourself so that you don't lose time. Well done. So if you're ready with your rebuttal, Tushant, we will start your time now.
The meteors that my worthy opponent stated as unknown dangers in context of dinosaurs, because probably dinosaurs didn't know how to read and write, but the Chinese did. And there are accounts in the Chinese history where they state terms as rain of stones and the falling star, which were definitely not overcooked marshmallows. That was definitely something from the space, and which we can definitely prevent these days, or they give us a prior notice of a coming of meteoroid or an asteroid, which because of this tech we have. Also, my opponent stated the depletion of the ozone hole because of CFCs. First point, we know because of the CFC, because we went into the space and we explored that there is a hole in the ozone layer, and that's why we can work back foot, and we can prevent the use of CFCs. Also, the knowledge gained could be used in to prevent disaster, tackle climate change, and improve food security, which definitely helps the poor as well. And thus space exploration is also beneficial for all the societies in the world, in addition the needs of vulnerable societies. Thank you.
Well done, Tushant. Judges, this is the time when you score Tushant for his rebuttal. Suzy ma'am, I have your score. Thank you so much. Meghna, I have your score as well. Thank you. Girija sir, I have your score as well. Thank you. Tushant, I know you're dying to see your score, but this is where I will keep all of you in suspense because I will not show you your scores until all 4 rebuttals are done. Right? So we move on to the next contestant. Kashish, you're up next. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you could switch on your camera as well, please.
I'd like to begin by... I'm sorry.
Hold on. I love that in a space exploration topic, you are absolutely raring to go. If you're ready with your rebuttal, we will start your time now.
I'd like to begin by contradicting the Fermi paradox and even the Drake equation to say that aren't we a little too desperate to find out that we are not alone in the universe? To fill the gaps in our knowledge, to substitute this nothingness of singularity, so much so that we forget the immediate problems like global warming, pollutions, and whatnot that confront us. We create our own demons and then run away from them rather than trying to face them. Speaking of demons, there was an experiment in 2006 where an experiment called a Space Shuttle Mission, STS-115, was trying to perform an experiment to grow Salmonella bacterium in space. And guess what? The astronauts were shocked to find themselves plunged in a science fiction. Researchers were able to find out that because of low gravity, there was an extreme transmission in the bacterium. And who knows, that could actually become a killer. So astronauts might even actually breed an apocalyptic disease in the name of their mashed potato tubes. No one said that space exploration was the best or the worst, but we know that it's just not there yet. And here's something more. Russia just launched an anti-satellite that could potentially be a weapon and start a space war. Thanks to space exploration, I guess. But here's what I know. If we think that we can terraform some other planet into the Earth and have the power to do that, then I guess we definitely have the power to turn the Earth back into Earth. My worthy opponent Tushar said that the meteoroids were no marshmallows. But even if they weren't, have we ever been able to tackle them?
Well done, Kashish. That was very well argued. I knew you would go after the marshmallow point. Well, judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. If you could put in Kashish's scores in the 4th column. Girija sir, would you mind if I put the score in the right place?
I'm so sorry. Please, please do that.
No problem, sir. Trust me, I've been doing this for 24 matches. I'm yet to get a hang of it. Well, we have Kashish's scores in. And now it's time for Shambhavi. Shambhavi, if you're ready with your arguments, we will start. Shambhavi, you there? I don't see you on camera.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I get. Yeah. So if you're ready for your rebuttal, we will start your time for 2 minutes now.
Okay, so from what I have observed from the speeches of a worthy opponent, that they are not completely against this idea of space exploration. They were just enlightening us the demerits of it. Well, I would say that I'm completely for this idea of space exploration in spite of the demerits it has. Everything has its merits and demerits. We as a humans have demerit of living here. So space exploration is just a single agenda. I would like to tell you that the current population of the globe is 7.8 billion and still growing. So do you think that we would be able to accommodate such a large population here in this single planet? And I believe that dinosaurs become extinct because they didn't have a space program. And if we don't have one, then our extinction is not that far. If we spread to other space, then our chances, our survival would be more assured here. Now, the next point that was raised was the failure. Yeah, we have failed a lot of times, but let me tell you, failure is the key to success. We fail as individuals a lot of times, and so did the space exploration, but it would transform something into a more beneficial one. And the next point, that there is risk in everything. Astronauts are dying, fair enough. Soldiers also die standing in the borders of the nations. And being an explorer is the job of choice. We have not forced them to become the one. Not just humans, robots are also sent there. So I believe space exploration has the power to transform it cons to pros, which is the best part of it. That's it.
Well done, Shambhavi. Let's see how the judges score you. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. If you could please put in Shambhavi's scores. Sizi ma'am, may I move that score to Shambhavi's column? Well, I have Shambhavi's scores in. Ananya, it's your turn next. Can we have you on camera, please? Ananya, are you there? Yeah, we have you on camera now. Ananya, if you're ready with your rebuttal, you're not mute, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So if you're ready with your rebuttal, we will start your time now.
So my worthy opponent talked about the curiosity. Well, I do agree with you that a human mind is full of curiosity. But let me ask you one question: that will you keep your curiosity at the forefront, which can surely compromise the life of the millions of the poor? Will you still keep your curiosity at the pedestal when you still know that money which you are using carelessly, or I would rather say that without thinking about its consequences on the space missions and programs, knowing that thousands and millions of the people can be fed every day, thousands and millions of the people can have a right to education? Well, my worthy opponent also talked about that how space exploration missions are not always successful, and they can and it is really a very secret thing that every mission has its pros and cons. But I do agree with you. But let me tell you one thing, that the motion of the debate really stated about the global development. Global development means in actually a development for all. When a few nations which are highly developed and they have a per capita income of more than $12,500 million per an year are exorbitantly expending a lot of amounts of money on the space exploration programs, what should be our agenda should be the global corporation, should be the collective interest of the humanity, through which not only one country or two countries, in order to show your dominance, in order to wage a war, our utmost priority should be helping out collectively to all those countries who are suffering each day and each night for requiring and for fulfilling their basic needs. Thank you so much.
Well done, Ananya. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. Judges, if you could please put in Ananya's scores, then we can have all the rebuttal scores in. Meghna, I have your score. Thank you. Girijesh sir, I have your score as well. Thank you so much. Sizi ma'am, Ananya, yeah. Thank you. I have your score, ma'am. Thank you so much. Well, with that, we have finished the 4 rebuttals. And this is when I should be able to show the contestants the marks that they have got, the points that they have scored, but not yet. This is when I get to tell you a little bit about Notebook. We at Notebook are an edtech company. We make studies more fun, more accessible, easier using videos. What we do is for every topic of your curriculum that you would find in your textbook, we make short, crisp videos. These videos are 6 to 10 minutes in length, and these videos are accessible anywhere, anytime. So let's say your teacher is taking your class. The way it helps the teacher is before he or she starts a 40-minute class, they can spend 6 to 10 minutes watching one of these videos. And after this video is done, then can follow an extended discussion on that particular topic. Because now every student can visualize what the teacher is teaching. Now 6 months down the line, you have your exams. You're back at home, you need to revise. You open this video on your smartphone, your laptop, or any other device you have, and you can quickly watch the same video that you watched as part of your class. Whether your class was online or offline, it's the same video. So you're instantly reminded of what the teacher had taught you, and then you can do much better in your exams. What I will do now is show you one small clip of one of the notebook videos. Given the topic that we are debating today, we thought we will pick up a topic from class 5 EVS lesson called Sunita in Space. Can we roll the video, please?
All of you must have heard about Superman. Today I'll tell you a story of a superwoman who made all of us proud, and her name is Sunita Williams, an astronaut. Hello and welcome to Notebook, students. The vast night sky and the sparkling stars amaze us always. But none of us know what exactly is the night sky. Come, let's take a journey to the space today. Do you know what an astronaut is? Just as you have crew members of an aircraft, an astronaut is the crew member of a spacecraft. Sunita Williams is an American astronaut who set records on her 2 journeys to the International Space Station, ISS. Ever wondered how the flight to the space may feel like? Let's see how Sunita did. She could never sit at one place. Floating around the spacecraft must be an amazing experience. The water too used to float. Moreover, can you imagine people floating all around the spacecraft to catch their food packets, which are also floating? Funny, isn't it? Another funny part is the hair. She never had to comb her hair as it always remained straight. Can you tell me the reason of all these happenings? Well, students, it's because Earth pulls everything towards it. This is called the pull of gravity. So more we move away from the Earth, the lesser the pull gets. If you take a globe in your hand and check the shape of the Earth, what do you see? It is the shape of a ball. And we humans all live on the surface of the ball and not inside the ball. So, isn't it a wonder that we all living and non-living beings keep clinging to the surface of the Earth? It is all the magic of the pull of the Earth. Sunita described how lovely our very own Earth looked from the spaceship. The beautiful round ball as it appeared from the window of the spaceship stunned Sunita and her co-workers. The country borders are not visible from there. Only the land and the seas can be identified. We find 2 little kids, Shahamir and Nuzera, in our chapter. They were super happy to meet Sunita Williams, who came to India. And you know why did she come to India? It was because her dear friend Kalpana Chawla requested her. You must have heard about Kalpana Chawla. She was the first person of Indian origin who flew to space. What a great achievement, isn't it so? Both the kids keep playing with the globe, trying to identify the different places. They discuss about whether the people who are in the lower part of the globe stand a chance to fall off. But then they think that maybe we are not on the globe, but actually inside the globe. And that is why we are not falling off. And then the argument comes that if we are inside, then how do we get to see the sky, moon, and the stars?
Well, that was a short clip from one of the notebook videos. We have with us today Achin Bhattacharyya. Achin is the founder and CEO of Notebook. Achin is a chartered accountant by training who was a director at Deloitte prior to starting Notebook. He has worked in very senior positions across all 4 major consultancies across the globe and within India. I would invite Achin for his thoughts on today's debate and to tell us a little bit more about Notebook's plans around 0 hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tushant, Ananya, Shambhavi, and Kashish. Great show. I'm indeed very impressed. One of the best sessions that we had so far. Really an edge of the seat thriller. I admire your confidence, articulation, and logical, well thought out deliberations. What I especially liked is the rebuttal round. That I guess is very important, because that shows that all of you are patient listeners. Listening to me is as important as speaking. And unless we are tolerant enough to listen to each other's views, we may miss out on some very important perspective which someone may bring to the table. Another thing which I guess is very important is your sense of purpose. When you step out of your school campus and step into a much larger world, the society around you will look forward to your inputs and views on various issues. Debate, discussion, and public discourse are at the heart of any vibrant democracy. So please ensure that you never lose your sense of purpose when you debate on various issues with your fellow citizen. Your endeavor, your effort should always be to find out what is right and not who is right. At Notebook, we are extremely humbled at being able to host 0 Hour for students and Together for Education webinar for esteemed educators and parents. I hope you liked the video that you saw just now. We have more than 10,000 videos like that in public domain, which today are being accessed by more than 1 million students. I again thank all the participants, and to me, what is most important is the spirit of participation. Your commendable self-confidence that I saw, which truly is commendable at that age, to me that's important, irrespective of the result. To me, all of you are winners today. And I'm sure your performance will only get better with passage of time. I also thank both the adjudicators, the principals of both the schools, and teachers who have worked hard in shaping up all the contestants. I also congratulate the proud parents. Your children have really made all of us proud today. Every reason to celebrate for you. And I thank the audience for their active encouragement and support to our young debaters. It's important to come together as civil society during this hour of crisis and pandemic and keep the spirits of our children high when they have been confined to homes for months together now. We look forward to see all of you in our Together for Education webinar today at 5 p.m. Thank you, take care, and goodbye. Over to you, Shubhayu.
Thank you so much, Achin. We're also very proud to have partnered with Save the Children for this 0 Hour event. Save the Children, as some of you may already know, is an NGO that's over 100 years old now. They work across the globe, saving children from early deaths, especially children who are less than 5 years of age, or children who face violence who are not as lucky as us in different parts of the globe. We have here a short message from their CEO, Ms. Bidisha Pillai. Can we roll the video, please?
Save the Children was born in 1919. 100 years is not a milestone that many organizations or individuals can claim to have reached. And for us, it's been a tireless, relentless journey to ensure that every child has access to their rights. Every child has a voice. But when we look back at 100 years, because 100 is also a time to reflect, we wonder what it would be like to live in a world where children don't need to be saved. Perhaps we could live in a world where Save the Children does not need to exist. And so as we look at the future, we envision a world which is much kinder to its children. A world in which children no longer need to be protected from violence, where children are not needlessly dying before they turn 5, where every child is going to school, is learning, is playing, and is on that path towards fulfilling their full potential. As we turn 100, we pledge to work towards that future of a much kinder and brighter world for children. Every day, every hour, every minute, we will continue on that path. But we also know we can't do it alone. We want to work closely with the communities, with our partners, with the government, and most importantly with the children themselves. They are going to be the change makers of tomorrow. Children like Onoyara, like Rahul, like Salman, like Mamta, They are the ones who are breaking gender stereotypes. They are challenging social norms, and they are changing the world and the lives of themselves and also children around them. We pledge to continue working with them, alongside them, to ensure that every child gets the right start. I'm Bidisha Pillai, and I invite you to join Save the Children in our commitment to ensure that every child gets the right start.
Well, after that short message, I cannot keep you in suspense any longer. After the 5 minutes of arguments and 2 minutes of rebuttal, these are where the scores stand. Tushant has averaged 88, Kashish's average is 95, Shambhu's average is 90, and Ananya also averages 90. Which means in the school averages, Sunbeam Suncity averages 89, and the Krishna Public School Raipur averages 93. Which means that the margin is only 4 points, which is really, really close. Because this is where the audience gets to take a call. Audience, I know a lot of you has been asking questions about when you get to vote. Well, this is it. You get to choose your choice for the best speaker of the day. You've heard all 4 of them speak. So think well and choose. You'll see a poll appear on your screen with 4 names on it. You have to choose the one that you felt was the best speaker today. You will have 1 minute to cast your vote, and you have the votes on your screen now. The participants can also see the polling as it happens, and I can see that it's going to be a close race. $50-odd votes yet to come in. So yes, decision is still out. We are about 40 seconds in, and 80% of people have voted. Just 10 more seconds. If you have not voted, I need your vote right now. And well, that's the end of the poll. At the end of 1 minute, these are the results. A very, very closely contested one, but with 35% of the votes, Ananya Mishra is the audience's choice speaker of the day. Very, very well done. I will now need a couple of minutes before I can tabulate and show you the final scores. In the meantime, Meghna, if I can invite you for your closing remarks, for your summary of today's debate.
Sure, Bayu. I'll just go a little slow with my deliberation today because of my throat, so kindly bear with that. Well, my hearty congratulations to all debaters. Wonderful display of public speaking skills. My heart goes out to both the schools, really. And pleasant to see that the spirit of the 0 hour being upheld with all of your debates. I would like to quickly summarize the topic on which all of you debated. Space exploration was once viewed to be a success parameter for the mightiest of nations. It stood for outstanding feat of achievement for a country having ventured into the unknown with trained human astronauts. It's acknowledged to be the most dangerous of missions, with astronauts having to sign off with their lives in case the missions fail. Barring great wars that humanity has fought in the interest of peace, space exploration has been one such lofty and commendable endeavor. Scientists suggest that it could lead to colonization in planets other than our very beautiful Earth. To the least, we are already experiencing benefits with GPS, accurate weather predictions, medical researches that cure human lives. Participants here have argued much better than me on these topics. So such advancements have signified great enhancements for the human civilization. NASA's total inflation-adjusted costs have been more than 900 billion since its creation in 1958 through 2014, accounting for more than 16 billion per year, 16 billion US dollars per year. So let's see what this 16 billion could do globally on a year-on-year basis if we spent it on other areas of vital need. And I'll start with the global health issues. The global annual cost for fighting AIDS is 3 billion for HIV-affected African countries, with about 25 million active HIV cases right now. Out of 36 cancers in 185 countries, there's expected to be 9.6 million cancer deaths. And back in 2008, the total impact from premature death and disability from cancer has been estimated to be 895 billion, which is about 1.5% of the world GDP. Just as a simpler example, in a developing country like Nepal, the cost of sponsorship of school education is approximately $300 per private schools. Government schools even lower. And imagine how many students we can empower with that figure with $1 billion worth of dollar investments per year. Countries like Somalia, quite surprisingly, do not provide adequate data on public spending in primary education after 1974. And imagine Austria's public spending going down on education in the recent past compared to 2015. So my take on this topic would be to look at the opportunity cost of investments, cost of shifting cost from one to another, a very famous term used in economics. And while we do so, see if the comparisons can be humanized as we compare apples to oranges. In the words of our beloved Nobel laureate and poet Rabindranath Tagore, I'll use the, I will, spell it out in Bengali first. Dekha hoy nai chokhu melia, ghor hote shudu dui pa felia, ekti dhaner shishir upore, ekti shishir bindu. With this, the revered poet meant, I have traveled miles and miles in all corners of the world, but haven't had the opportunity to explore the one small water dew on the tip of the grass in my backyard. With that, I would like to thank the entire school fraternity for being so supportive and being with us today. My personal thanks to school adjudicators, school principals, and all teachers. Thank you. Over to you, Shubhayu.
Thank you so much, Meghna. Well, both schools did exceedingly well today, but these are the final scores. The Sunbeam, Suncity, School and Hostel Varanasi winning with 114 points. KPS Raipur finishing very, very strong with 93. So the winners of Match 25 of the 0-hour debates, which is a Pool D match, is the Sunbeam, Suncity, School and Hostel. Congratulations to you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we will now take your leave. We will see you again at 5 o'clock today when we have the Together for Education webinar. Hope to see all of you there. Until then, take care and goodbye.